When people are asked to predict how they will feel if a bad event occurs, they consistently overestimate how awful they will feel and how long they will feel awful for. This is a finding from the book Stumbling on Happiness by Harvard professor of psychology Daniel Gilbert, who's been studying happiness for several years. It's a book that describes what science has to tell us about how well the human brain can imagine its own future and how well it can predict which of those futures it will most enjoy. It's a really interesting read, and it's different from other books on happiness in the sense that it just lists out studies and researches that talks about human behavior and why we do certain things. I'm just going to be sharing some of my notes and observations from the book here. It says that the human being is the only animal that thinks about the future. So much so that researchers actually counted the items that float in an average person's consciousness and found out that about 12% of our daily thoughts are about the future. I had read somewhere else that an average human being has about 50 to 60,000 thoughts per day. So that just means more than 5,000 thoughts per day just about the future. But the problem is, the author goes on to say, that humans are really bad predictor of our future state of emotions. But why do we keep on doing that? He says that the most important reasons why our brains insist on simulating the future is that our brains want to control the experiences we are about to have. Because if we lose our ability to control things, we become unhappy, helpless, hopeless, and depressed. And talking more about people with depression and why they feel hopeless about the future is the reason that we cannot feel good about an imaginary future when we are busy feeling bad about an actual present. I can't help but imagine what a mess it might be inside our heads. The next part of the book also talks about wealth and happiness. I'm just going to be reading some notes from my book here, which the author says that wealth increases human happiness when it lifts people out of abject poverty and into the middle class, but that it does little to increase happiness thereafter. So, as an example, Americans who earn $50,000 per year are way happier than Americans who earn $10,000 per year. But Americans who earn $5 million a year are not that much happier than other Americans earning $100,000 per year. He says that economists explain that wealth has declining marginal utility, which is a fancy way of saying that it hurts to be hungry, cold, sick, tired, and scared. But once you have bought your way out of these burdens, the rest of your money is an increasingly useless pile of paper. But we still keep on chasing money, right? Even though we want enough money, we try to mint more money. And people who have a lot of money, they try to make their money work for themselves. He also talks about that. And in the words of Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, who wrote in 1776, the desire for food is limited in every man by the narrow capacity of the human stomach. But the desire of the conveniences and ornaments of building, dress, and household furniture seems to have no limit or certain boundary. If no one wants to be rich, then we have a significant economic problem, because flourishing economies require that people continually procure and consume one another's goods and services. Market economies require that we all have an insatiable hunger for stuff, and if everyone were content with the stuff they had, then the economy would grind to a halt. So that's why that's why we keep on minting more money. Like Smith, many other thinkers believe that people just want one thing, which is happiness. Hence, economies can blossom and grow only if people are deluded into believing that the production of wealth will make them happy. So everyone keeps on believing that more money will lead to more happiness, which is proved that is not the case. And people who have made that much money also say that it's not the case, but which we just in a huge delusion which does not seem to stop. Then there is also some other examples of how human beings behave in certain situations, where the author says that people are more likely to purchase a vacation package that has been marked down from $600 to $500 than an identical package that cost $400 that was on sale the previous day for $300. So the summary is that we end up preferring bad deals that have become decent deals to great deals that were once amazing deals, because that's just how our brain is. Also, most people think they will regret foolish actions more than foolish inactions, but 90% of them are wrong. People in all walks of life seem to regret not having done things much more than they regret things they did. The most popular regrets are not going to college, not grasping profitable business opportunities, and not spending enough time with family and friends. You should totally read the book for hundreds of more such insights, because I've only spoken about like 4 or 5 studies from the book. But one tip while you think about the future, which the author shares towards the end, is to find someone who is having the experience that you are contemplating in your head and ask them how they feel. So if you're imagining doing something in the future, you're starting a business or leaving your job or getting married, and you're imagining how it would feel like, talk to someone who has already done that, and that will give you more insight into making a certain decision or just deciding if you want to pursue something. That's about it. Thank you for listening, and spend some time with your family and friends, and keep reading.